Hey Wildcats, welcome back to the channel. We got a lot of topics for you. We got some piping hot stories. We got stories ranging all the way from improv night to the Lady Cats to what Nathan's doing at his father's house. So let's dive into that.
We got me on the weather too.
Yeah, he's gonna talk about what's going on in the sky.
Hi Wildcats, I'm Natalie and I'm here with
Ed Chalk.
And today, what are we talking about?
We are talking about the American Legion Post 156 Oratorical Contest. The American Legion is military members that have been served in any war at any time. And we get together and we help those in the community. We help the veterans. We help the spouses of those veterans who have passed on, as well as the children of those who have passed on. And help all veterans in the county.
All right, and y'all have an oratorical contest coming up,
Yes,
right?
we do. We have a fantastic oratorical contest, which is open to students in grades 9 through 12. And it's a contest on speech with Constitution.
Constitution. All right.
The U.S. Constitution. It's an 8 to 10 minute speech. And then when they get done with that, after all the contestants are done with the 8 to 10, we pull an envelope, and it's a mystery amendment, which they have to do for 3 to 5 minute speech on. Now, here's the exciting part about the whole thing. It's open to grades 9 through 12, which means you can start in the 9th grade earning scholarship money. The lowest level is $250. From here, you go up to district, which is another $500. Then you go up to division for another $1,500. Then, if you're good enough, which you practice, you can be.
Yeah.
That's why you get 4 extra years to do it. But the grand prize is $35,000 scholarship.
Wow.
So starting at grades 9, you can go, as long as you don't win the $35,000, you can add up all that extra money. Now, $35,000 is for first place, but you still get $27,000 and $22,000 for second and third.
That sounds amazing.
It is. It's fantastic. It's a good way to earn scholarships. Not only that, but you learn about the Constitution of the United States,
Very important.
which is really nice. Because if you really get into the Constitution and you want to get into politics or something like that, you need to know about the amendments and people's rights and how it affects everybody. At the end of the year, we will be starting a boys camp. And what that is a student is selected from here to go down to the college in Texas. And they live in the dorm and they vote on people to become president, so forth, congressman, and they all do the political activities
Wow.
that is specifically designed for our government. It's a great learning process. Even if you don't win, you still learn. If you're in 9th grade and you don't win the first contest, you can refine it because it's the same Constitution contest the next year and the next year. The only thing that changes is the amendments.
All right, that sounds absolutely amazing. Can I ask how long this has been going on at our school?
Wow. Since I've been the commander, which has only been 4 years, it's been going on, but it had been carried on for quite a long time. I imagine 10 years, I think it is, that they've been doing it.
Wow.
So we've had quite a few progress up. We had one individual, well, I can say his name, Armando Ayayo. He won it 2 years in a row.
Whoa.
So no matter what college you go to, you're still winning the scholarships. And it's there set aside for you. So the minute you go to school, your school will notify us and it's placed into your college fund.
Nice.
It is fantastic. And it's a good experience for all who participate in it, because not only do they get the speaking portion, because sometimes a lot of people are afraid to speak. Me, I like to come up here. I like to get all of our contestants and run through a no notice speaking,
Oh.
but it lets them know how it's going to go. I give them all the ingredients of how to make it work for them, how they become good. It's very beneficial. It promotes Americanism. And it opens the eyes of a lot of students who don't learn this in school.
Could you tell us how you get signed up and how do you do this?
Absolutely. You contact your teacher or you contact the counselor. Put your name on a list, and then she will give me the list. I will set up a day and come in, and everybody's called up there, and I will give them a nice little briefing of how to do it. Our contest will be the week in January 5th through the 8th. One of those days will be the day that we will hold our oratorical contest.
Okay.
If the winner will go on to the next level, I generally accompany them on that just for moral support to make sure they're doing good. And then from then on, as you get farther up, they pay for your gas, your hotel.
Ooh.
If you reach national, just for showing up at national, you get $2,000 in your scholarship.
Whoa.
Just for showing up.
That's awesome.
So when you look at the amount of scholarship that you can build up in a very short time, and trust me, 4 years goes real fast in school.
Yes.
But it opens your eyes.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Wildcats, for watching. On to the next one.
Hi Wildcats, I'm Lauren and I'm here with Gracie and she's going to tell us a little bit about this board that she made. So tell us a little more about that.
Yes, I made a Take What You Need board to hang in the hallways, and I found it on Pinterest, and so most people have seen it before. But there's different subjects like love, hope, faith, confidence, strength, and in each of the little envelopes there's verses verses in the Bible that say quotes about, or verses about love, verses about strength. And so if you ever just need love, then you go and take a verse out of there. And we will be adding just regular quotes about love, faith, and hope for people that don't believe. So, yeah.
That's very neat, very cool. What inspired you to do this for us?
I really just, with all the men and women of honor coming in, just Fields of Faith, it all just hit me. And then I seen it on Pinterest, and I was like, that's a really cool idea.
And where is this board located?
Down the 100 hallway between Miss Cockrell's room and Coach Jenkins' room. It's towards the end of the 100 hallway.
Okay. Is there any rules, you have to take it and put it back or anything?
We want you to take it and keep it, and just tell your friends about it so that if they need something, they can go get it too.
So since we talked about men and women of honor, how's Women of Honor going?
It is going so good. I think we have been 2 or 3 meetings we've been at, and we started later than the boys did, but we have had full participation, and we're hoping to get more. Actually, this Wednesday, we have a meeting with boys and girls together that will be held in the gym, and we'll be talking about salvation, and we want the whole stands packed to hear about salvation.
Well, thank you for coming on, Gracie, and thank you, Wildcats, for tuning in. Make sure to show up to the salvation meeting, and make sure to look at that little positivity board. On to the next one.
Hi Wildcats, I'm Caroline and this is Haley. Today we're going to be talking about the girls basketball team. So how has y'all's games been so far?
They've been really good. We had our first game last Tuesday against Scurry Rosser. Varsity came out with a big win. Final score was 68-31, so it's a big one for us. And then we played Friday night against Mineola at their place, another tough game, and we came out with the win 63-20 something. So it was a pretty good win there too. So excited, we've been playing good and it's off to a good start.
When are your next game?
So we play tomorrow night in Silver Springs against Silver Springs. JV starting at 5, varsity starting at 6:15. It's gonna be another good game. Should come out with the win.
What are y'all doing in prep for that game?
Just working hard in practice, getting a lot of shots up, conditioning, just going over plays, just the usual.
So do you have any shout outs for the basketball team? Anyone been working hard?
Shout out to coaches. They've really been pushing us. We've been doing good. Shout out to all my teammates. We've been working really good together and playing well as a team and getting good team wins and really working hard together.
Well, thank you Wildcats for watching, and thank you Haley for the interview. See you on the next one. Hey Wildcats, I'm Caroline and this is Lindsay. Today we're going to be talking about her signing. So how was your signing?
It was really exciting to finally get to say I'm officially going to West Virginia Wesleyan, and it was super fun to see everyone, all my friends and family come to support me, and it was just a great experience.
So I hear you're signing for softball. What got you into softball?
I don't know, I've been playing ever since I was itty bitty. I was like 5, and then as I kept playing, I just grew in love with the sport, and it's just always been my dream to get to go play at the next level.
So tell us a little bit about this college you picked.
So it's a really small school. It's a D2 school. It's a very small town atmosphere. It reminds me of being at home. It's in the mountains, so it's beautiful, and it'll just be completely different from what I'm used to, which is really exciting for me.
So what are some of your future plans, your majors, your minors?
I'm planning on majoring in either biology or biochem so that I can go into a field with occupational therapy or prosthetics.
That's fascinating. What got you into all that?
I'm really interested in like all of that because there's this place I work out at, and there's like a foundation where they work with people with prosthetics and all of that, and I've always thought it was the coolest thing ever.
So what drew you to this school?
I really just like thought it was something different, and I thought, why not just go for it? Because you only get to have this experience once. And another reason I'm excited is I can get into their honors college program, which is like super amazing to do. And then like since it's such a small school, like you can get to know everybody, and I just think that'll be fun.
So any shout outs or anything?
I'll give a shout out to my parents because without them, I wouldn't have the opportunity to get to play the sport I love and go off and pursue my dreams.
Thank you, Wildcats, for watching, and thank you, Lindsay, for the interview.
Thank you.
Hey Wildcats, I'm Andrew Young and this is Evan Imig, and today we're going to be talking about basketball. So, what got you started with basketball?
Ever since I was young, I played all 3 sports, but basketball, every time I played it, I just I enjoyed it. I wanted to play it all the time, and my dad always helping me out through it, so I just really fell in love with it.
So, how have your past games been?
They were all right. We did okay. I mean, last season we fell short, but it was a pretty good season last year.
Was your dad there to cheer you on and all that?
Yes, he was.
How have your games been so far? Are you excited for anything?
Yes, very excited for our season opener and to show what we've been working on through practice and just get ready for it.
Do you have any shout outs? Any team members, coaches, family?
I'd like to shout out my dad and Coach Wester for helping us and putting in work.
Well, thank you so much for this interview. Thank you, Wildcats, for watching, and on to the next one.
Good morning, Wildcats. My name is Chris. I am here with the weekly news. So the RHS weekly newspaper is now available in the library. This week, Miss Crystal is the teacher of the week. Make sure to tell her congratulations in the hallway. Baseball tryouts will be held on the 13th and 14th during athletics. Make sure you are preparing yourself. Attention book club members. Our next meeting will be held on Wednesday, November 15th. Well, thank you, Wildcats, and on to the next one.
Hey Wildcats, I'm Cameron and I'm here with Rain's Weather. So Tuesday, November the 14th, it is going to be mostly sunny with a high of about 67, so still a little low. Wind between 6 and 7 miles per hour, so expect a little, get you a little coat on so that way you're not chilly the whole day. That night, it's going to be mostly clear with a low around 46. Northeast wind from about 6 miles an hour, so just make sure you stay bundled up in your house. So Wednesday, it's going to be sunny with a high near 66, so it's dropping a little bit, and a northeast wind from 6 to 8 miles per hour. So once again, wear a coat. That night, it's going to be partially cloudy with a low around 47. Thursday, it's high near 70. I'm not going to tell you to wear a coat again, you know. That night, mostly cloudy, low around 51. So, temperatures rising up a little bit, coming back up. We live in Texas. It's not predictable. Friday, partially sunny with a high near 71 degrees. I don't think you're going to need that coat anymore. That night, mostly cloudy with a low around 50. So Saturday, temperatures dropping back down a little bit. We're going to be at 68 most of the day. That night, it's going to be mostly cloudy with a low around 51. So that low is still getting a little high. Sunday, we have a chance of showers, mostly cloudy, and a high near 69. That's all, Wildcats. On to the next one.
Hi Wildcats, I'm Lauren and I'm here with Nathan and we're going to talk about Nathan's Thanksgiving plans. So Nathan, tell me about your Thanksgiving plans.
So for my Thanksgiving, I'm going to be going to Austin to visit some family, mostly my dad. I'm going to be staying at his house for the entire week. I'm going to be visiting a lot of my family while I'm there, my cousins, my grandparents, and just a lot of people while I'm over there as well.
And what will you be doing while you're over there? I know that we, since, this is my brother, we're going to be going to Urban Air. But what else will you be doing?
Probably going with my grandma to eat sushi.
Sounds about right.
We do that every time we go. Like, every time I go out to visit my dad's. I do a lot of stuff. I chill at their house. I get to swim at their pool in the backyard, the hot tub, go to the arcade.
And it's always nice to see them. They're always very kind and very sweet and opening. On to the next one.
Hello Wildcats, I'm Naib, this is Landon, and today we're going to be giving some information about Clue and Improv Night, so start us off.
Okay, so Improv Night is going to be this Thursday at 7:30 p.m. It's free to the public, anyone can show up. So the games are going to be completely randomized. We're not going to know what game's going to show up. We're just going to have to think on the spot about it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of nerve-wracking.
For Clue, we have 4 show nights, which is the most show nights we've done in a while. We have one the week after we get back. They're all the week after we get back from Thanksgiving break. We have November 30th at 7 p.m., December 1st at 7 p.m., and a double show night on December 2nd, which is at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. So make sure you guys show up for that. It's free entry and all that. I'm pretty sure we're going to be having popcorn and all that. We have been working so hard on this production for months now, near the start of school. It's theater in the round, so it's going to be a fun experience for everybody showing up, and I think it will be really enjoyable for the community.
Yeah. I just think it's going to be a fun experience for me, especially because it's my first time doing theater and whatnot. I think it's going to be fun.
A lot of you older folk may like it because it's based off of the board game and movie Clue, which most of you hopefully do know. So I think it will be a fun experience.
Yeah.
All right, on to the next one.
Hi Wildcats, and I'm here with Miss Sherry Cockrell, and she is our Teacher of the Week. So tell us, what inspired you to be a teacher?
Actually, I wanted to be a counselor. And my father said if he was going to pay for my education, that I would be a teacher. So he kind of pushed me into it.
Do you enjoy it now?
100%. He was so right. He's so much wiser than me. I'm really glad that it worked out.
So did you always start out as teaching, principles of human service and stuff like that?
Actually, when I started teaching, I taught English for many, many years, and because I love it. And when I went into the profession, CTE wasn't born yet, so to speak, and the services that I provide were gradually getting phased out. And although that's what I was always interested in, it wasn't really available. So I went into English, which is my second love.
I imagine it was very fun for you because English, I love English too.
Yeah.
How many different schools were you at before Rains?
I only taught at one school in Crossroads, Texas. And after that, I went into full-time ministry. And we did that for 28 years. I homeschooled my kids. I also taught preschool for 8 years during that time. I worked with Make-A-Wish Foundation, and I trained volunteers all over southern Missouri. And I worked for my denomination and wrote curriculum and did girls' clubs for 386 churches. So I've done a lot of teaching just in so many different areas.
That is very impressive. So you mentioned that you taught preschool. How many different grade levels have you taught?
As far as actually in the classroom, I've taught 7th through 12th grade English at one time or another, and then preschool. Now, as far as outside of the classroom, I homeschooled my own children until they were in 7th grade, and I am certified to teach everything from early childhood to 6th grade. I have a general certification for that, and then I have a K through 12 special ed certification, a lifetime English, and then anything in the family and consumer services venture. So,
how long did it take you to get certified for all that?
I went through my 4-year degree program in college and did my student teaching, whereas I got my first certification that way. So I'm certified to teach English and psychology with a lifetime certification. That's what they did back then. And after that, you just have to take tests. And I'm a really excellent test taker. So I studied and took the test. Here we are.
Yeah, I mean, studying is great. Do you have any like studying strategies that you have for tests?
I'm a pretty good student, so as long as I read something or hear it, I'm pretty good at recalling it. So I think for students, sometimes they have to take particular notes or highlight, go over things over and over again. I think that helps them a lot. My daughter hates taking tests, and I think she's really helped me be a better teacher because she is dyslexic. And since I homeschooled, I learned how to work with all kinds of various student populations because of her. And I did a lot of extensive research. So I think the test taking, you just have to take a deep breath, be calm, and be prepared. If you listen the first time, then it's usually a lot easier.
Yeah. Going back to when you moved to Rains, like how was that experience for you?
It was wonderful. We had been in ministry, like I said, for 28 years, and we felt called to come back home to Texas. My husband's parents were getting older, and his mother had cancer, and we felt we needed to be closer to home to help take care of her. So I felt supremely called to come back into the classroom. We moved on February 26th, and I came into the classroom here at Rains as a substitute teacher on March the 4th. My clothes weren't even unpacked at my house. And the moment that I stepped on the campus in the district, I knew I was supposed to teach here. And the crazy thing is, when I went into the English 2 room, which is room 105, as you're very well aware, I felt so compelled that that was the exact spot I was supposed to be. But they didn't have any openings. So I started applying in all these other positions. And in all my life, I have never not gotten a job that I interviewed for until I interviewed for a pre-K job here and for a pre-K job at another district. And I didn't get those jobs, and I was just shocked because I've always gotten a job I interviewed for in the past. So, but I kept thinking, I was supposed to be at that position. Well, I got a phone call to interview for a 4th grade position with Josh Williams. I was super excited because I like that age group. I was ready for the challenge. That same afternoon when I was supposed to interview, I got a call from Mr. Wellman, who was our principal at the time, saying that in a couple of weeks he would interview me here, that an English 2 position had come open, which is where I knew I was supposed to be. And I said, I'm really sorry, but I have an interview already. And he said, when? And I said, at 2 o'clock this afternoon. And there's this big long pause, and he said, in another district? And I said, no, sir, at this district. And he said, with whom? And I told him. He said, can you be here at 1 o'clock? I said, sure. So I came down, he hired me, he got Miss Samples to come in. It was more like a please come work for me than a true interview. And they hired me on the spot. And I was like, God, you're good, because that's where I felt called to be in the first place. So that's kind of how I ended up here, and I've loved it ever since. I love the community, the students. It's been a tremendous experience for me.
I do know that you don't teach English here anymore. How long did you teach English, and what made you change that?
Well, I always had the love for the other thing, for family and consumer science. That was my love. And I think as a pastor's wife, I had all that experience with so many different areas. And I, like I said, I almost have my master's in counseling and guidance, and that's what I had originally thought I would do until we moved, and I couldn't finish my degree because it was a 4-hour drive one way. So what I did, I thought, all right, all of that really fits into this program. So I read all the TEKS, and I just started begging. Actually, at the time, Miss Wallace was our Dean of Students, and I just started putting that little bug in her ear. I would really love to teach these courses someday. I would really love to teach the child development courses. I would love to do that. So I taught English, I think, for 5 years. I'll get a little fuzzy. And then I would do one class. Like I started with one class of Principles of Human Services and 7 classes of English or whatever. And then the next year, it was one class of principles and one child development course, and then, that many classes of English. Until finally, I had one class of English, and all the others were in the Family and Consumer Sciences department. And so the next year, I fully switched over. And this is only my second year to do education and training, and that is my deep love.
Yeah.
So that's how I made the transition.
It sounds like a lot of classes you have to juggle. How do you do that?
Oh, I don't like to be bored. So, I don't know. I kind of like having something different all the time. It's fun. And I have a lot of plates spinning, but it's entertaining to me, and I love students, and it's so fun to see your reactions to whatever's going on. So, yeah, it's entertaining.
At least you have something to do all the time. You're never bored.
You're correct.
So tell us about the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Oh, that was such a wonderful experience. Very rewarding. I was the program services manager for Southern Missouri. So that meant anything below the Missouri River I was in charge of. And basically, the program services manager is the contact person for families. And I did everything from starting the wish until seeing it completely through. I trained all the volunteers, so I traveled a lot. But I was the number one contact person with the families. So when they had a child that had a wish, then I would assign someone to go and be their wish granter family, is what we call them. And I would be the one to arrange everything. So I've arranged everything from Disney World to getting computers to meeting wrestlers and NASCAR drivers, Raven Simone, the Foo Fighters, all kinds of different athletes, and everyone was tremendous to work with, but the gratification of seeing those children and working with the families was incredible.
I can imagine. It probably made you feel so happy to be able to grant those kids their wishes.
Absolutely. It was absolutely very empowering and very encouraging. I loved being a part of it.
It sounds very wonderful. We've been talking about your job a lot, and I'm sure you enjoy that, but how about we talk a little bit about your hobbies and stuff? What do you like to do when you're not working?
I think you already know the answer to that. The thing that I love the most, as far as just for me personally, because I'm a complete nerd, I love to read. So it's my passion. I love to read. It doesn't really matter what. I read all kinds of things. And then I love to cook just for my family. I'm not a chef or anything like that, but I like to cook for people that I love. And I love to travel and spend time with my family. I love to play games, but I'm very competitive.
I know that from experience.
I know you do.
What kind of books do you like? Like, is there a particular genre or anything?
I'll really read anything. For me, I love mysteries or anything that's suspenseful, that sort of thing. Any kind of, whodunit situation. Sometimes I'll read romance if I'm really bored or just don't want to actually read but listen to a book, then you don't have to pay much attention to that. I like to read things that my students are reading because I find that really engaging so that I can talk with them. I enjoy some fantasy literature as well, like I love Six of Crows and that sort of things. I don't really like nonfiction all that much. I'm more of a fiction kind of girl, but I do read memoirs from time to time. So really anything, and of course I read my Bible all the time because that's my first love.
Of course. Are there any book series that really grab at your heart that you will always hold dear to you?
I gotta love Harry Potter. I can't help it. I love Harry Potter. As far as standalone novels, I love All the Light We Cannot See. It was so beautifully written. I love To Kill a Mockingbird. And as far as series, most of them are honestly not all that well done. Mostly you might start out with something really great, but then they kind of fall off a little bit. And I love series because of the characters. That's why I like to read a series. It's not because the literature is so well written, except for Harry Potter, which is very well written. But other than that, usually series kind of meh.
How do you feel about the movies for Harry Potter?
They're good. They're not as good as the books, of course, but they were enjoyable for the most part. There were a couple that really fell off, but I liked them. I mean, it was fun. My daughter was growing up during that time, and so it was really fun to go to those movies with her and wait in line and all of that experience.
And be like decked out in your Harry Potter merch and everything.
100%. Yes. One year I waited in line for hours and hours. She was here in Texas in college and she had to work. And we went to the midnight movie always, of course, when they opened, and it was the last one. So I waited in line all day with all these other fans. I was the second person in line so that she and I could have great seats. And she got there 2 minutes before the movie started. I was sweating it.
Oh yeah, I would be real nervous. So you said you liked cooking. What kind of dishes do you like to make?
I like healthy food, believe it or not. I really like cooking healthy things. I love chicken dishes and that sort of thing. I love to bake. I love making bread. It doesn't really matter. I like to try new things. I subscribe to the New York Times Cooking so that I always have these new recipes coming in.
Do you enjoy reading like the magazines and stuff like that for them?
Not really.
Yeah, too many pictures or like...
I don't want to mess with all that. I don't have time for that. I'm too busy.
Rather read a real book.
Correct.
To wrap this up a little bit, I've loved this interview, by the way. One of my favorites. What do you enjoy about teaching at Rains?
I truly love the sense of community that I feel here. I have felt a part ever since I came. I have invested as much of myself as I can into students. I love being able to maybe show a little glimpse of other life opportunities to students, and I just really enjoy getting to know the students on a personal level, and it's been just a sense of family. Plus I really feel like I'm called to be here, so it's a tremendous thing.
I know as students we are all happy to have you here. We all appreciate you very much. Are there any shout outs you'd like to give to other teachers or inspirations or anything?
Listen, I would have never made it here without Janet Samples. She will always be my hero. She has been an amazing, she was my mentor when I first came. She's been an amazing mentor and an even better friend. And of course, all the staff is tremendous to work with, but Miss Samples will always have a dear place in my heart.
Well, thank you for the interview, Miss Cockrell, and thank you, Wildcats, for tuning in. And make sure to thank Miss Cockrell for her gifts and service to the community. And on to the next one.
Hey, Wildcats, I'm Hallie, and today I'm here with
Lydia,
the artist of the week for the week of November 13th. So, can you tell us a little bit about what kind of art that you do?
I do mostly like paintings and stuff like that, and I like to like bring out feelings, like inner thoughts and stuff like that into like the paintings of how people feel.
That's very cool. Is there anything in particular that motivates you to do art? Anything that really pushes you?
The excitement of putting stuff like I think about in my head, and, like trying to bring it to life and show it to people and see that other people feel the same way as they feel. They're not alone.
Definitely. And how often would you say that you practice?
Probably I'd probably take like a day out of it, and I do it in art class as well, so that's about it.
Definitely. And I see that you have a piece here right now. Would you like to show it and talk about it a little bit?
Yeah. It's like a piece more about your inner child, how you grow up, and you tend to think when you're growing up you don't need that inner child anymore, you need to mature. And as you grow up, like space itself, it's a really beautiful place, and growing up is like a really beautiful moment, can be like a really beautiful moment, but as you grow up you grow distant like spaces, and you become alone and you distance yourself, and you don't allow your inner child to come in. That's why like there's a doorknob on this side but not a doorknob on that side.
It's very beautiful. What exactly did you use and do to create this piece?
I used more of like acrylic paints and tape, and that's about it.
Yeah, it looks wonderful. So very good job on that. And good job on becoming Artist of the Week. If anyone sees Lydia in the hallways, make sure to congratulate her. It's a wonderful piece. It looks very beautiful, and it would be great to see more. Thank you, and on to the next one.
Hey, Wildcats, that's all we got for you, and have a wonderful day. I am mad. I'm mad. Hi, Wildcats. I'm not mad.